Hey America, welcome back to another day in lockdown. I'm your favorite patriot, standing by for your freedom and independence. We're doing a little check-in with the vegetables today that we started when all this lockdown started. Look at those onions growing. Look at that lettuce. That lettuce is beautiful. We also got some Ramona tomatoes. We also got some cilantro. Look at all this. This is like crazy. This is the onion. Cauliflower. Cilantro. Tomatoes. Those are Roma tomatoes. It's crazy, America. We've been doing this for 45, 50 days. We've been in lockdown. Our lettuce is already bolting. The lettuce is already about ready. And we're still slowly letting ourselves go back to work, letting ourselves be independent and free. It's just crazy. Here's some of we got pumpkin started, we got some watermelon started, we got so much good stuff, it's crazy. We don't even know what to do with all these vegetables. And yet, America, you're still hanging out, waiting for them to let you go, waiting for them to let you free. Well, I say be free. Be free every day of your life. Start by growing your garden. Get some lettuce, get some onions, get some cauliflower, get some broccoli, get some cabbage, watermelon, pumpkin. What else we got? We got some beans going. We got some bush beans. Remember those were started? Those things are booming like crazy. Take a look. Look at that thing. Huge. There's another one popping. The other ones are starting to pop. But look at that. Huge leaves. I don't know about you, America, but I'm ready to get in my garden. We'll go out later tomorrow. I'll check on the potato plants that we got growing out there. They're huge. They're about 8 inches off the ground. Our fish are growing. I got one fish. He's probably about 6 or 7 inches long. He's getting ready to be put on the table. He's looking like good food. The pigs are doing well. One pig has already been sold off. It's under 80 pounds, just about at that 80-pound mark, which is the venison style pig meat, which is extra special. Now, if you haven't got your pigs or your chickens, I'd recommend also doing that as well. Now, let's talk about the hydroponic, aquaponic system we got going on in here. We do have the fish outside. Of course, if you haven't seen my fish, go ahead and check out some of my episodes on the fish pond and how we've expanded the fish pond to make sure we have enough water for all of our plants and that they can support the life that we need them to support. Now, inside here, I'm running some masonry tubs. I've been trying to go to Lowe's and Home Depot lately, and they've all been sold out. So, America, you must be out there doing the same thing. I'm really proud of you for doing that. Now, you can order them online, which, delivery, all that stuff may take some time. But we just went to a couple different Lowe's and were able to find some more and some Home Depots. Now, these are 24 by 36 inch mixing masonry beds. You would find them in the masonry section with the concrete and the mortar and all that. So they're pretty heavy duty. I like them. They are not necessarily food grade. Some may say that's not proper or kosher, but they do work very well. I found that the food grade ones have a tendency to break down in the light from the UV rays. So if you choose to do that, go ahead and do so. Now, some of the starter trays, right? They're some kind of black plastic starter tray, and they come with the dome and the bottom piece to get you all started. We have lettuce. So lettuce you should be starting about every week, and you want to get that going. So here's our couple weeks just start. These are just starting to pop up right there. And then the cauliflower is just starting to pop. Things that you eat all the time, you need to replant constantly, at least once a week or so. Like the lettuce and the onion. We eat lots of those things, so you're going to want to keep planting them regularly. The things like the watermelon that are late season, that are going to take some time to grow, that you're really not going to do those year round. or the pumpkin. The pumpkins, we're just doing those for Halloween, basically to cut us lanterns. We're not really going to eat those unless we feed some to the pigs. Now the watermelon, on the other hand, we are going to eat those. I did plant some around the pig pen as well, so that as those grow up, we can just go ahead and throw those straight into the pig pen and it'd be set to go. Now, please like and subscribe. Check out our other videos. This all started during this pandemic when the animal control came out trying to enforce some unruly rule about not having my dog leashed on my own property, which was crazy. And it's a service animal, so he can be leashed anyways. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check that out. That was in the very beginning of this whole event and why I started this channel. It has kind of expanded since then into people wanting to learn about grow and be a survivalist and being a homesteader and getting out and being self-reliant. Now, if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. My background is mechanical engineering. I've also was raised on an avocado farm and have been growing for 30 plus some odd years. I am 40 years old and have plenty of experience in designing and building sustainable systems through engineering, whether it be solar energy requirements, lighting requirements, environmental requirements. You know, it's all about creating the right environment. If you have the perfect environment for your plants, you won't get bugs, you won't get mold, you won't get that stuff because you're not creating the environment that those type of things want to live in. Like powdery mildew or spider mites or any kind of fungi in your roots. You know, if you get the yellow leaf or anything like that from poor water quality. As an engineer, those are all things that we analyze and look into and try to determine the cause and the problem of those and then try to resolve those problems. Now, if you have any questions, of course, always leave them in the comments below. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Always share with your friends if they're interested in starting their own farm or growing some microgreens in their basement or starting some fish or growing some fish or raising pigs or raising chickens or any of those types of things. Let us know. I can help you out. I can help you start your farm. I can help you look into some real estate. Leave comments below. We've had to do all this in homesteading. You know, where to buy that perfect land, what kind of environment you want to be in, what kind of political environment, you know, what state do you want to be in? Do you want to be in a state like California, which has more licenses and more requirements than any other state? I would choose not to be, but that's just me. Now, as we continue to do farming and aquaponics and hydroponics and aquaculture and permaculture, all those things are important for sustainable living and sustainable life. Now, if you haven't done so already, look into permaculture, look into aquaculture, look into hydroponics, check it all out. Also look into your First Amendment rights, looking into people doing First Amendment audits. Check out our government. They're never wearing any of their stuff. So if they tell us to do something, then they should be doing it too. Just keep that in mind. Now back to the gardening and what we need to get going. Water quality, filtration. We run a biofilter, which also has charcoal. Sometimes in the wicking beds, I will put some charcoal in the bottom of the wicking bed as well to help filter the water. Now, if you haven't got into hydroponics or wicking beds or flood and drain systems, the lattice over here, that likes to be floated. You can use a floating raft. I don't have them in a floating raft right now. I actually just have them sitting in some wicking beds, sucking up the water. But you can put them on a floating raft and float them right on top of these tubs. You can make your own out of some closed cell foam because you don't want it to sink and you don't want it to bring in any bacteria. They do make special trays for them, but they are relatively expensive for what it does. Now the onion, if you haven't got any already, I went to Tractor Supply the other day and they were already all sold out of all their onion. Tractor Supply was also sold out of all their fruits, at least at the store that we have here locally. So, you know, to get in there early and get the early season stuff is kind of important. You want to make sure you get in and get your stuff early and get started early. We just had a full moon. You always want to plant on the full moon. That'll allow your seed the premium, best quality of life. You know, just like women have their cycles, Earth has its cycle, and you need to be able to be in tune with that cycle, just like the solstice, you know, the winter and summer solstice, to know when to start planting. If you want to learn more about that, let me know, leave comments below. We could talk about like the almanac and seasonal changing and how the sun and the moon and all those things affect our Earth. If you ever taught the birds and the bees, it's kind of that story, and how something pollinates something else and how they all need the perfect environment. And it's all part of the cycle, people. So America, this is it. This is a long-winded one, but we want to make sure that you got your permaculture going. We want to make sure you got your aquaculture going. We want to make sure you got your hydroponics or aquaponics. We want to make sure you got your livestock, your chickens, everything. Get it started. If you haven't started it, go ahead and start it today. We will be checking in regularly to make sure that you are keeping up to date on your garden. We will also check in tomorrow and see our potatoes and our pigs and our fish and all the other vegetables and fruits that we planted outside, along with the apple trees and the peach trees that we planted. Those two are out there, and we will check on them as well. Now, if you haven't done so, like and subscribe. Until then, what do I always say? God bless America, and peace. Have a good one, America. See you tomorrow.